Alfa Romeo is a masterpiece in automotive branding. While at times quality and reliability may have been questionable, performance, style and passion has overrun the critics to make Alfa Romeo pretty desirable. Supercar owners, company car drivers, families and first-time drivers have all been able to quite easily sample the Alfa experience. So owning an Alfa isn't exclusive, but there's something about driving one that feels it. Jeremy Clarkson sealed the deal for car people when he said that no matter how much of a petrol head you are, you can be the biggest car nerd going, you can have petrol in your veins instead of blood. If you don't own an Alfa, or you haven't ever owned an Alfa, you can't be a proper petrol head. It's written into law, I think. So being a good law-abiding petrol head as I am, I decided to go out and buy an Alfa. That's mine. So I'm going to use my own tyres and my own fuel for a car review. I'm going to review a car that never fails to strike up a conversation when I arrive in it. There's an elephant in the room. Underneath this stylish performance saloon car is a Vauxhall Vectra. The 159 was based on a Vauxhall platform and uses the 150 brake horsepower diesel if you go for the 1.9 and the 6-speed gearbox straight out of the Vectra and the Astra SRI. To me, that's not a bad thing. The engine has great tractability, and while the diesel tech has moved on since those days, it actually works very well in the Alfa. You know, you trade a bit of Alfa unreliability, potentially, for a bit of pub talk kudos. I love the dashboard in the Alfa 159. The switchgear just looks fantastic. 3 auxiliary gauges pitched into the dashboard like an old Lotus Cortina Mark II. And then, why wouldn't you put a boost gauge on a diesel? For a heavy saloon car, it does handle quite well, as far as you need to push it on the road anyway. And let's face it, you're not going to take an Alfa 159 to a track day. Not a 1.9 diesel one anyway. Even the base model 159s were quite well spec'd, and even the cloth interior that you get is really nice to look at. Very comfy as well. But in the Lusso model like this one, you get full leather interior, loads of electronic gadgets, which, by the way, all work. And those Brembo brakes, of course. Just fantastic. Brembo brakes as standard on a 1.9 diesel. Thank you, Alfa. There are 2 details on this Giugiaro designed Alfa 159 that I really like more than anything else. One is the steering wheel, which might sound strange, but ever since airbags came into being, steering wheels became big and bulbous and ugly, whereas somehow Alfa have managed to keep this one slim and attractive, and the airbag is non-intrusive. It's got a profile of a classic sports car. It's really smart. And then there's those front lights on the nose. Everyone who talks to me about this car wants to have a closer look at the front lights. And before I bought one, I wanted to have a closer look at them too, because they're a work of art. They're just so quirky and so different, and yet actually very robust and sturdy, despite what they may look like. No one could argue the 159 is one of the most beautiful saloons you've ever seen. It really is stunning. Every line, every detail sets it further apart from any other car on the market when this car was current, and even now. If you disagree, may I suggest you check your pulse? The 159 was designed to compete with the BMW 3 Series, so it had to be good. The cabin quality was a marked improvement over previous Alfas. The dashboard fittings felt solid, and the doors clunked with a bit more confidence. So what about the bad bits then? Well, I'm disappointed that Alfa got rid of the hidden rear door handles that they had on the 156, because actually that was quite a nice feature. But apparently they had to get rid of them because in its native Italy, people were complaining that they couldn't get people in the back seats by tilting the seats forward. The seats wouldn't tilt. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true, but I hope it is. It's a brilliant story. I've owned this car longer than I've owned any other car, and 2 years on, it's actually cost me very little money and has held its value fairly well as well. Granted, I would have lost a lot of money if I'd have bought it new, but as a second-hand car, the 159 is pretty unbeatable for value. The classic Alfa problems then, yes. Well, I had to put a headlight bulb in. No, actually, I had to do two headlight bulbs. Yeah. The rear number plate light bulb went as well. That was an issue. And it's used some tyres as well. I'm not sure how it did that.
Sponsored by ZTech Engineering, power, control and information.